Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live stream, Wild Goose Case.
Hello,
I am
everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, please. My bad.
Ace always wants to steal my spotlight. No, I'm kidding. All right, I'm Ebony Lewis, the developer advocate at Block. And then we have the lovely takeover.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Hi, Rizal. Hi, Angie. Hi, Tanya. Hi, everybody in chat. Welcome to Wild Goose Case.
Welcome, guys. Hi as well. So today we have a special guest. I'm going to add him onto the stage. You guys, you can introduce himself. Tinashe, feel free to take over. Let everybody know your name, how long you've been at Block, etc. We'll square.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Tinashe Musonza, and I'm a software engineer at Square. I've been at Square for almost 7 years now. Yep. So I work with the fulfillment management team, so responsible for managing fulfillment settings for our merchants.
That's a long time, 7 years. So for the 7 years, were you doing the exact same role, or have you like gotten into different like aspects of Square?
No, I've moved around through reorg, so from different teams. So yeah, so not the same role. Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome. We're super excited to have you, and thank you for being our first Wild Goose Case. So essentially, this Wild Goose Case live stream is where we're going to connect with users like Tinashe, and they're going to showcase different use cases and ways that they're using Goose. So it should be a little wild, a little goosey, a little fun. I would like to, before we dive into like the live stream and we really look at the demo, what are AI agents? And maybe we can all kind of pick it up and answer in our own words, no pressure. But I know normally AI agents are compared to like a personal assistant, but on steroids, because they're so like hyper-focused and tailored to you. I know people normally say like AI agents, they learn from like their circumstances, the different like data that they have access to, and beyond just like using large language models, LLMs like ChatGPT or Gemini, they're also able to like, instead of, so with like ChatGPT, you have to give it like step-by-step like instructions. But with like an AI agent, the cool thing is that it could be autonomous, or it could be like semi-autonomous where you have to hop in, help a little bit, but you can give it like big objectives and big goals and for it to tackle all on its own, which is really cool. And it'll go and do it for you in the background while you could do other things. So that's kind of how I explain AI agents. A little wordy. So if you want to, or Tinashe, you know.
Yeah, Tinashe. One of the best ways I like to describe it is just being able to assign a task to an AI tool, to a digital tool, and is able to go and perform this. Could be a series of tasks, could be one single one, and then do it for you autonomously while you're observing or sipping a cup of tea. I mean, it makes life easy, right? And the crazy thing about those kind of things, like you mentioned, Ebony, is that you can use it for things that apply to you specifically, which is one of the reasons why we're doing Wild Goose Case in the first place, because the potential is limitless. And then you get to find out, even as someone that already uses AI agents, possibly you get to find out new creative ways that different people are using it, and then you learn from the way they're using it to then add to your own workflow. So it's one of the reasons why we have Tinashe here to also show us one of the amazing ways he has used Goose, which is also an AI agent, to do this. So I'm excited to learn as well.
Thank you. Tinashe, do you want to, no pressure, say what an AI agent is to you, like in your words?
Yes. So for me, it's a tool that helps me. So I know I want to go from step A to step B, or point A to point B. But to get there, something in between, I don't know how I'm going to get to that point. So that's when an AI agent comes in. So it can streamline the process, so it can make that process shorter. It could take me hours, it could take me days, but with an AI agent, that's more streamlined and takes less time, right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That was like a perfect example or explanation of what an AI agent is. So let's get into like what is Goose? Ace, do you want to give us a little overview of what Goose is?
Yeah, Goose is essentially an AI agent as well, that is tailored for at the moment for developers. You can start using it to build, work on your existing projects, create something new. Just like Tinashe mentioned, I actually one of the best things I like about Goose or like AI agents in general is I have an idea, I know what I want to build, but I'm able to use it to guide through all the steps, making work just infinitely, quicker and easier for me to accomplish different tasks. And I think that's amazing. So with Goose, you can get started today at github.com/blog/Goose. It is very much open source and you can bring your own LLM to it as well. So it's, yeah, pretty exciting.
Very, very, very exciting. I love that it's open source. So also, like you said about these streams, we want you to be able to learn or like get like inspiration on how you can use your own AI agent, use Goose, etc. But then also you can contribute as well to Goose, which is what makes it really, really nice. My next question, and this is for you, Tinashe. I would love to know, like, what made you turn to Goose? I know you said that sometimes you have, like, you want to go from point A to point B, but like, how did you hear about Goose? What made you say, like, you know what, let me give this a try and see if it could actually help me, help my team in any way?
Yeah, so it was during an incident that I'm going to talk about later on in the presentation. So I was just hearing some teammates using Goose, and I just thought maybe I could use it for the issue that I'm having. So I guess I will go into it when I do the presentation, right?
Oh, that's
So
fair.
then it turned out well because with AI, so I'm just trying to explore different tools and figure out how I can make my day productive and actually not do the boring tasks.
The
So
tedious
sort of
stuff.
it, yeah, time consuming. Some people might like to do those, but that might not be my daily job. So I want to get rid of those tasks that are boring, and so that's how I got to it. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that it was word of mouth. I feel like that's really the cool thing about like open source is most of it is just someone's talking about it. Like, oh, I'm using this thing. It's really helping me. Or look what I just did. And you're like, wait, what is that? How can I use
Mhm.
that? Because like you said, you want to save time, focus on the things you actually enjoy doing.
Right.
So I love that. I feel like maybe we could just jump into the demo because now I
Yeah.
can give a little teaser to the audience. I feel like they want to know, like, okay, what was this incident? How did you use it? How did it help you? Just take it away. I'm going to add your slides to I lost my little mouse. Okay, right back. So whenever you're ready, Tinashe.
All right. Here we go. So like I said, my name is Tinashe Musonza, and I'm software engineer at Square. So today I'm going to take you on a journey through an incident that probably could have been a nightmare, but turned out into a learning experience thanks to automation and a tool called Goose. So incidents do happen all the time in complex systems, but what sets us apart is how we respond to those incidents. So in this presentation, I'll walk you through the problem, the solution, and the lessons that we learned. Along the way, we'll explore how Goose saved us time, enormous time, improved accuracy, and most importantly, helped us maintain trust with our customers. So this next slide, of course, I had to ask Goose or get help from Goose to prepare for this demo. I had a bunch of logs, and I want to make sure that we maintain privacy of our customers or anything. So I knew what I wanted to get rid of, but I just asked Goose to look at the logs and tell me some kind of sensitive information that I need to get rid of. So this is an example that it was telling me get rid of IP addresses or all these merchant IDs, client IDs. And I actually used Goose to generate new data from these logs to make sure that I use dummy data, right? So before we dive into the story, let's talk about what managing an incident means. So simply put, we want to figure out when something goes wrong, and we want to figure out quickly and fix the issue quickly and making sure it doesn't happen again. But there is more to just fixing the problem, right? We also need to ask two big questions. Who is impacted by this issue? And what do we need to do to get things back on track for both our business and our customers? So if you can hear me, I say both for us and the customers. Because normally what tends to happen is when our systems recover, then the customers, they're still having issues. So we want to be able to solve issues for them as well. So and here's the thing, dealing with incidents is a lot of manual work involved. Those boring, tedious tasks of sifting through the logs, trying to figure out what went wrong. And this process is time consuming. And that's where we need automation. So we can save a lot of time if we automated this. So this idea of using automation to make incident management easier is what exactly we leaned on to what I'm going to discuss next. Now, of course, I have a disclaimer here. Before we jump into the story, what I'm about to share is based on a real incident. However, to keep things simple and focused, I've renamed some of the services, right? So we have blue service and we have a red service. So you want to think of it like a classic crime show opening based off true events, but with names changed, etc., right? So this will help us focus on the process and the challenge that we were facing.
I love
Next.
this.
Yeah. So I normally think that incident management feels like watching Investigation Discovery. I do watch those
Me
shows.
too. That's why I'm like, ooh, I'm getting excited.
Yeah, so it's like you're piecing together clues, interrogating logs as your witnesses. Some are
Yeah.
helpful, some unreliable, and you're racing the clock against to uncover the truth before the critical evidence disappears, right? Because we have log retention. These logs don't stay for long, so it's
Mm,
just more like those episodes,
this is great.
right? So with that in mind, let's dive into the mystery by looking. So we'll look at the services first. You have the overview. So this is a simple architecture that we started with. So we want to understand, we started with PHP, MySQL that worked well in the early days and later on with some limitations. So the goal is to transition entirely to a Go application in DynamoDB for several reasons and leaving PHP and MySQL behind. So I just want to tell the story of the architecture. That way we can be on the same page. So it's worth noting that we're just focusing on just a single component. This might be a system that involves a bunch of other services, right?
Mhm.
Right. So
Right.
I'll show you how the progression unfolded. So here is the setup. So on the left, you have your merchant making updates, and those are going to MySQL. Then, so in the middle, we have the red service. So that's my team. And on the other side, we have the blue service. That's another team. Then at the bottom, you have somebody who's shopping, buying something, and which our merchants are selling, right?
Mhm.
So the way this is working is the merchant makes updates, then we send webhooks, then Blue Service takes those updates, then put in an index, which they are the customers who search through and they buy the products, and they want that data to be up to date.
Mhm.
Then we move to the next step. Now we want to scale our application. We decided, okay, let's add DynamoDB here. So now we have two databases, right? MySQL, then we have DynamoDB, and we're writing to both databases. Everything else is the same. People buying whatever they want, they're happy. Then the next part, we also introduce another application. Now we want to change the language. Now we have Golang, right? So we have two databases, two services, different languages. Still the same thing. We haven't switched anything. Everything is going on well. Then we transition. Our Blue service now is using DynamoDB and the Go app, and everything is working well. Right? Then the incident happens. So at this point, if you see that little dot is going, so the blue service is not getting updates to put into the search index. And what that means is
Mhm.
our merchants are saving stale data. Our customers, maybe they're not able to buy the products they want, right?
Oh no.
Right. So the goal is simple here. Well, it sounds simple, right? but the goal is to figure out what's going on, fix the issue. So we probably quickly figure out what was going on and we fix the issue, turned off some feature flags, but we still have some clients that had bad data, right? And that needs to be fixed. Now the goal is to figure out sifting through all those logs, the boring test that I was talking about. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where Goose came in, and you see it made all the difference in resolving this incident quickly and accurately. So how Goose simplified the workflow, right? Instead of manually passing the logs and trying to extract the impacted merchant IDs, it was able to consolidate that data into a single CSV file. So we could extract some actionable information. We say, okay, we have these merchants. Let's take these merchants then and their setting IDs and go and run and replay those webhooks. So it saves us time. We could focus on resolving the incident. And there's also accuracy. It doesn't get better than that, right? So if I'm trying to do this manual and just downloading logs and writing some scripts, I probably could do it. Do I want to do it? Well, maybe to save my job, I want to do it.
Probably not.
Mr. Goose, to your manager, you definitely wanted to do it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I really like the quote. Like Goose is like that one friend that shows up to the group project and just does everything. I mean, I just they're like, yeah, good job.
Yeah, you're like, we got this done so fast.
yeah. I'm not gonna say which was I that friend or was I on the other side? Yeah, but
fair enough.
yeah. So yeah, so Goose pretty much became our teammate, right, in this response effort. So it's really stressful when you're going through an incident, when you're trying to figure out those things. Normally, some of these things takes hours to resolve, right?
Yeah.
Then once you resolve it, people want to go to sleep, but they still need to figure out who is affected, right?
Yeah.
So this might not be clear, but what we did was run a script. So we gave it, if you can't see this clearly, what it just says is, I'm asking because I have logs across multiple fields, and they are named log 0, log 2, like a list of logs, right? And I'm saying to Goose, can you combine these logs into one CSV so that we can, so this could take, if I was doing it, could take hours in trying to sift through and write a script that actually extract the information that I need from those logs, right?
I love also how it's like plain English. Like you're literally just talking to a friend, like you said. Goose is your teammate. And you're just like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like, I've done it. You're good. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Because
quick question. Do you have like just as an estimate, like how many like log files like are to like combined as an example in this case?
Well, in the case that I was using, I think I had let's see, maybe 20 log files, because so each one had because when I was pulling them from the logging system, I could get a limit of say 15,000, right? So
lines.
then when you multiply by that, then what I like is if those logs are not useful and Goose runs through those logs and I get the information that I need in a short time, then I haven't wasted time, right?
Yeah, 100%.
In the past, you'd get all these logs from different systems, then you try to figure out what's in there, then you spend hours, then okay, this is not helpful, right? But if I have 10 hours or days into minutes, and still it doesn't work, then I can go back and I still have those logs, right?
Yeah, because you said there's like a time, right? When the logs disappear.
Right. Yeah. So most systems, they have a log retention. You don't have those logs around for long, depending on what application you have and the requirements. So you want to have that evidence to solve your, going back to that time. Yeah. It's not really going back here. Yeah. But so I don't know if this is the video that, so I was going to do a live demo, but I know how live demos go. Something always goes wrong.
Yeah. I think you can play the video, then we'll ask chat if they can see the text, and then we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, because I don't
Can
think
probably
it's
maximize it. Yeah.
so. Yeah, you may. It's fine if you don't see the text, but this was just running the commands to extract the data that I needed, the merchant IDs or the settings ID. And when I was just playing around, it gives you time to just explore, right? Like it's actually fun. No, incidents are not fun, but this process is fun, right? Playing around with Goose. So, so in this case, it had given me not enough results, but I knew what I had. So I just asked in plain English, can you take a look again? I know I have more than this. Then ran off, right? Then I get a list of merchants and I can see how many settings each one is affected. Then I can go ahead and do fancy things like create graphs. For example, I wanted to create some bar chart to see who is affected the most. If I wanted to write scripts to create charts and everything, it could take me hours, right? But
I
I
can
don't need,
imagine.
yeah. So especially if I'm not well versed in Python, if I focus in different language, but in this case, I just have Goose do it and just check the work after it, right?
That is dope.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing that I noticed too is whenever you're working with these AI agents, it just back up your data or work with a copy, right? In some cases, you can ask for a task, then your data disappears. Like, okay, I thought I had something, and then Goose will say, well, I don't have the backup anymore. Can you provide it again? But that can happen. But yeah, so I'm just, that's
Fair.
yes.
Good thing to call out.
Yeah. So then let's see. So you can do things like PyChat. In this case, it's the titles are not, they're off. Then I can ask Goose, or can you fix these labels? Then it goes back and fix the diagram, right? So let's see if it fixes. Then you can take all these charts, or you can put them in your incident report, or you can do anything you need, right? So,
Nice.
so now it fixed the labels and everything looks
Perfect.
perfect, right? Let's see, then yeah, it would be nice to demo it live, but like I said, then in this case, I wanted to figure out the distribution. Of course, you see, I asked Goose to randomize the data or add more data, and it got excited. I didn't give it like limits. For example, now the data looks off, so there's outliers. So now in this case, I'm just asking, can you get rid of the outliers so that the graph can look good? And it does happen in real life, right? In incidents, you can have some outliers, then it shows the correct.
Looks great.
So this is it. So what did we achieve here? So we have time saved. So what used to take us hours, manual efforts, was reduced to just minutes with Goose. So this allowed us to resolve the incident much faster without sacrificing accuracy. So once I get all the information that I needed, I can get, like I said, get those files and run a script to address and improved accuracy. So anytime you automate log passing, you minimize the risk of human error, right? And Goose ensure that no impacted merchants were overlooked, making the it's more reliable. Right. So one merchant not resolved is one too many, right? So
100%.
Yep. Also increased efficiency. So reducing that repetitive manual work that we don't want to do, and we focus on solving the real issues. Yeah. So
and then it saves sanity too. Priceless.
yes.
Because I can imagine scrolling through all those logs manually and trying to make sense of things. Yeah, that's a huge one.
The customer trust part, like I think that one's huge. That you were able to resolve it faster, and they're just like, "Oh, dang! Like they're so efficient. I'm so happy I'm going with this company." You know what I mean? That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, so in some cases you can resolve things faster that the customer doesn't even notice, right? But so
Even
when,
better. Woke up and problem's gone.
Fair enough.
so
While you were like having Goose do this, were you doing other tasks while Goose was like going through the logs and putting it into that one like log file? Were you doing other things or were you just like waiting for Goose to do it?
uh so the nice thing is it didn't take long to do that. So
True,
by the time I was trying to do something, Goose was done. I'm like,
true, true,
okay,
true.
Goose, I'll
Right.
give you something else to do then.
Goose is super fast. You're
Nice.
right.
Yeah. So
Nice. Is this your last slide?
yeah, so this is the last one. So I guess if you've seen today, incidents are going to happen and it's just how we respond to them. So with Goose, anything challenging we can use to streamline our processes.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder that the right tools combined with the right approach can transform how we handle even the most difficult challenges. So yeah, in this case, we have other use cases that we've used Goose for, like we do heavy data migrations, so we can use it to validate our data. So to kind of see the trends, so you can take some data from Snowflake, you can give it to Goose and say, can you see any trends here? Then you can see, okay, there's some duplicates here running with your data migration. So it's been really helpful for our team.
Nice. Is this the like kind of the first time you're using some form of automation tools? Like, I'm guessing, I mean, in your space, you probably have like a bunch of regular automated stuff. But in this sense, where you get to like overlap multiple tasks, from creating a bar chart to processing log files and all of those things on the flow. I was wondering if you've had experience, working with any tool like that in the past.
You mean for a team or just in general?
Just in general, because I mean, I guess my question is more like people might sometimes be hesitant towards like automating stuff or even just letting someone else take control of the wheel. So I think my question is more geared towards like the mindset shift as well towards, oh, let me try this out to see if it's gonna help me out with this. And I was just curious if you had experience with stuff like that, or this was something that was just exciting to try out for the first time and stuff like that.
I've tried things like
Yeah.
make.com where you automate stuff and run tasks, whether it's writing to your Excel or
Yeah.
from your Google form and all that, like automating tasks, right? So yeah.
Nice. Something I want to like highlight is how you used Goose to help you prepare for this. And that was really cool. How you asked Goose to like anonymize, there we go, anonymize the data.
Yes.
And it's funny because we had somebody else that was talking about wanting to join a stream in the future. And I was able to let them know, like, oh, well, actually, one of our guests that's coming up this Friday, it did that. And they're like, oh, I could use Goose to do that. So it was really, really cool that I was able to share
Yeah,
that.
that's really helpful because that way you make sure you don't miss anything. I know you
Mhm.
probably know what we need to take out, but yeah, yeah.
So we don't want mistakes,
Nice.
especially like that when it's live.
100%. Well, yeah, thank you so much. This was very, I learned a lot. And I think there are other people in chat too that work with data in general and seeing how like different ways you can use Goose to optimize the experience. I mean, I'm very excited about the impact of AI in general, but just being able to say, hey, go do this. And then I'm just there watching you do it. I think it's breathtaking.
Right.
Have you guys heard of any like this will be like our ending question? Have you guys heard of any cool like AI agent use cases that people are using right now?
Hmm.
No?
I mean, the ones that get to like balance, I have imaginative ones. We'll get there in the future.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
And I think there's more in the sense of just seeing how people use it to do tasks that cross through different platforms. In the sense of, for example, this was done mostly in the terminal, and you're able to combine like your file system, combine the log files and stuff like that, generate images. But then when we start to look into systems, MCPs like being able to go from one application like Slack to another application and your browser itself and being able to use AI agents to do multiple tasks like that. I think that's very exciting to see.
Me too. What about you, Tinashe? Any cool ones you've come across?
Uh, well, there's several that I see like it work, right? So, but I'm looking forward to the next one that we are gonna do for since this was the first one, right? So I'm looking forward to the next one. But yeah, the one like I mentioned, the cool thing that for a team that we've been doing just to help with the migration and make sure we correct data. That's something that has been interesting.
Nice. We also have Roselle that said that she was using, not that one. Hold on. I want to do this one first. Okay, that she's seen a girl using Devin for product management. I think that's really cute. And she was using it to write PRDs. And one that I wanted to highlight was one that we actually were talking about in Slack, how for like applying to jobs. Someone was using like AI agents to go like look on the web, find the jobs for them that actually align with their resume, and then apply for them, which I think is like insane, which is so cool. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much, Tinashe, for joining our stream, Wild Goose Case. And of course,
Thank you.
thank you, Ace, as well. Do you have any like closing remarks you guys want to add before we say goodbye?
Yeah, that'll be pretty much it for me. Thanks again, Tinashe. That was very educative. I'm always excited to see different ways people are using, Goose, especially and AI agents in general. Basically shaping up the future of tooling and stuff for developers and users in general. So thank you for showing us all of that. And of course, to chat, thank you everyone for stopping by and sharing your experience.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.